Hey YouTube. Let me get in the camera. Hey guys. I know, I'm back madly 2 months later. So I had my baby. I had my son. I had my son May 17th. His original due date was May 14th, so I had him 3 days later. I'm 2 months postpartum. He's 2 months. He just turned 2 months. And I'm gonna tell you guys about my delivery. That's what this video is about. Yes, I'm a mommy. I'm so happy. I love my son. I love him more than anything. Now I finally understand, like, when people say, like, you know, love, like no love is like the love for your child. Like, no love is like the love for my son. Like, I love my son. I love my son to death. I do still have a little pudge. 2 months postpartum. I have a little belly. It's there. I didn't get that many stretch marks, just a few. Literally just a few. But yeah. So you might hear my son because he's like waking up. Of course he would try to wake up right now while I'm trying to get this video in. So let me just get him settled and I'll be right back. So my original due date was May 14th. I ended up having him May 17th at 4:31 a.m. I was supposed to have him on a Thursday, but nothing was happening. I was having little Braxton Hicks. It wasn't nothing crazy, nothing serious, like, at all. So I, went to bed, woke up the next day, all day, perfectly fine. Maybe had a couple contractions, but more like Braxton Hicks. Didn't like really hurt too much. Hurt it, but not too much. It wasn't until maybe Friday night at around 9 or 10 p.m. when I started bleeding a little bit, and I noticed I was bleeding. So I was like, you know what, we need to go to the hospital now. So me and my baby father, we went to the hospital. When we got there, I was 0 centimeters dilated. I wasn't even 1 centimeter dilated, and I wanted to have him so bad. I wasn't even 1 centimeter dilated. I was 0, and the reason that they kept me was because I was bleeding a little. Not too crazy, but they wanted to keep me because they thought it was preeclampsia. Because I am very tiny and my weight went up very, very high. I never went past 115. So for me to be 128, 4'11", 4'10", the way my body is like proportioned, I kind of figured, or I thought I would get preeclampsia, but I thought that I would be able to have him before it even got to that point. He induced me Friday night. I did not get epidural. I did not want epidural. I've said this plenty of times. I wanted to go natural. So Friday night until Saturday, all day, I did not have epidural. I did it, contractions and all, without epidural. But let me tell you guys, these contractions were coming. So they did say until you're like 6 or 7 meters dilated, it goes slow. So I had to get the epidural. But before I got the epidural, they did give me other type of drugs. I know one of them made me feel like I was on laughing gas. I was talking so much natural like I wanted to, but I did have a vaginal delivery. I did not have a C-section. Thank you, God. I think it was around maybe 2 in the morning when I finally started it was finally started to kick in. And I'm not speaking about the drugs, so of course the drugs are already kicking in. I'm talking about me dilating. I think it was around like 2 a.m. I probably was like 5, 2:36, it was still going slow until 4 o'clock came, and the doctor told me I think I was 8 centimeters dilated, and I'm like, yeah, we're finally almost there. And then next you know, they're like, you're 9 centimeters dilated. And before I even knew it, I'm looking at the nurse in the room, and the way she was looking at the monitors kind of like was freaking me out, because she looked like she was freaked out, okay? And she had like this little they have like these little walkies on, I guess. And I just see her walking toward the monitor, but her eyes were like so wide, and then next you know, I'm looking and I didn't say anything yet, and then she she calls the nurse, and I'm sorry, she's on the speaker thing, and she's like saying, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, and then she goes, baby heart rate dropping. And I think I was like, what? My son's heart? What do you mean? Like, what's going on? Like, I was just so panicky. And next thing you know, I can't remember if it was her or if a doctor came in the room, but what I do know is that when I was pushing, I never seen so many goddamn doctors and nurses in my goddamn room. In my goddamn room, I'm sorry. And like I wouldn't have thought it would like that. Like, you know, I'm thinking I'm gonna have one doctor, you know, whatever, the nurse, couple nurses, but no, my room was filled. Next thing you know, two doctors or nurses are on the side of me. They flip me over. I'm on my knees. They have my butt in the air. They're like patting me to get, I guess, to like make him move to get his heart. Like, I don't even really know. I just know that I was so drugged up. I was so drugged up. But I pushed for 10 minutes. His heart rate was going up and down while I was pushing. It was the scariest thing ever. All I know is that my baby father was about to record, and I'm like, don't even record. Like, I watch everything, like, pay attention to what's going on, because listen, in the hospitals nowadays with black women, you know, they just don't give it a hell, like, at all. So I already knew that from friends having experiences going in the hospital and things like that. And one of my friends telling me, she didn't even want me to go to the hospital. She wanted me to do like a home birth and stuff like that. But for my first, I really didn't want to do that. I would be way too terrified to do something like that. They said I pushed for 10 minutes. I did rip a little bit. But I can tell you that I think the worst thing out of my entire pregnancy was definitely the butt thing. Well, I'm not sure if I said that in this video, where, let me say it again though, just in case. Nobody ever told me the worst part about giving birth is when you're pushing and it feels like the baby's head, when they're finally coming down, is coming out your asshole instead of your vagina hole, okay? Nobody ever told me that. I'm so mad I had to experience that without anybody telling me that. That was the worst thing. I never in my life cried so hard, cried so bad, wanted him out of me, wanted to stop pushing. I was about to give up and say, cut me open. Like, that's how real it was. But I had him in 10 minutes. When I did have him, I didn't, you know, usually they pass you the baby. I didn't get to hold my son because of the heart and stuff and things like that. And also because I was so drugged up, I didn't even want to hold him. Like, I couldn't even hold him if I wanted to. But so my son's father, you know, got to change his diaper first, got to feed him first, got to hold him first, got to do all of that. You know, but that was fine with me. Like, he did a good job at it. I was content. I was happy. I was just so happy that my son was there. My son was fine. All I know is that when I did finally pop him out, and you know, they bring the baby over over to the side on top of that thing to weigh them and things like that, I didn't hear him cry at first. And all I know is I said, why don't I hear my son crying? And my baby dad said, he must have heard you, or he must have knew your voice, because girl, when you said that, he was like, wee, and like, he just started crying. And I was just like, that's my baby. Like, I used to always talk to him when he was inside of me. Like, I'm all looking at him right now. I love him. I'm actually gonna put a little clip in here. We went to the pool 2 days ago, and he had a ball. Ooh, my camera's messing up. And we had a ball at the pool. He loves the water. He's so in love with the water. He loves it, even if it was freezing water, and he still loved it. But yeah, then they did tell me prior to me taking these medicines that one of the medicines were going to give me a very high fever, and it did. It gave me like 105 fever. I had such a fever that after I gave birth, I couldn't hold my son so much that when I finally laid in the bed out, they had to give me like 20 covers on top of me because I was freezing, like shivering. Like, I made them put that heat up in that room. Mind you, it was so hot out. But I mean, it was nice out when I had gave birth, but they had to put so many covers on me because I was freezing, like I was in a freezer. They did tell me that I was gonna have a very high fever or whatever the case is, so I ended up getting that big fever. Next thing you know, when I finally get to hold my son and everything, when I'm finally getting better, you know, hours later, the one of the doctors come into the room and she's like, so you know, you had a very high fever, so you know, just for precaution, we're gonna test you for COVID. For precautions, whatever. And I was upset, I was scared, I was mad, but he was just looking at me like, you just pushed the whole baby out and you're scared to get a little Q-tip down your nose. But whatever, I did it. And when I did do it, the baby was like 6 feet away, so I couldn't touch him, I couldn't hold him until the results came back for like an hour. But if I did have it, they were gonna test my son, and that was not gonna happen. You're not, no. He's only a day, like, he's not even a day. Like, no, like, not testing my son. But anyways, it came back, and I did not have COVID. I was fine. So I went to the hospital Friday. We didn't even leave the hospital till Tuesday. I wasn't there for that long. But my baby's fine, and he's healthy, and I'm good. I can say, I don't think I said it, but the worst part about my whole delivery was the recovery. I'm one and done. That is it, honey. Like, that was, no. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do nothing for myself. Like, it was bad. I couldn't bend. I couldn't do I could barely shower. Like, it was that bad. My sister had to, like, move in with me and, like, help me out because I couldn't do it. And I'm a mommy now, and this is what my life is about. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe later.
Look, I can't. He's too big.
I'm recording you guys.
Where's this going on? YouTube?
YouTube.
Which one should I tag? Nails by Bree or it's Bree?
Where's Papa's in
If you hear
there?
me talking funny, it's because I got my Invisalign in.
Yo.
Yeah, that's why I'm about to tell you. Like, I feel like I gotta live.
Cool.
Does it feel different?
No, look, they come off. It's my first one though, so it's not all the way done yet.
Oh.
What's your tag? What's your name?
Look at the baby. I have my son.
Where you go?
Hi, Sugar Man.
How you
Hi,
gonna get
Sugar.
it in the
That might make him fall.